Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Nothing Happens in the Grave with Omenasa. This is a show where I encourage you and I remind you to live in love, joy, and peace. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Nothing Happens in the Grave. Omenasa. Today is January 15th, 2025, and I hope that all is well with you. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. You could go on Spotify, you could go on Podbean, just type my name, Nothing Happens in the Grave, Omenasa, and you're going to find me on where good podcasts are casted. Okay, how are you doing? God bless you. Today I want to talk to you about all things truly do work together for good, okay? All things work together for good. So last night I went to work, and the way the nursing works is that we all have an assignment, right? So the head nurse has an assignment, and all the assistants have an assignment. Everybody has an assignment. Okay, so of course, like I've had my regular assignment, and those who have been working for a longer time, we all have our regular assignment. And so here I am. I had already checked on all of my patients. I had already done everything for my patients at 11 p.m. I was done by 12 o'clock and I did my documentation. And sometime around maybe almost 1 a.m., like we received notification that we were working short. So that means, well, that a certain floor was working short. And so the person with less seniority will have to go and cover that floor, which happened to be me. And so I grudgingly went on that floor, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I had already finished with all my patients upstairs. And now I was just like, I'm about to start this night shift, right, with patients that I don't know, patients that I have never met, because that's not my floor. I'm not used to those patients. And anyway, like I went into the room and I put in all my supplies and everything and checked the patients and did my rounds and all of that. And do you know, at about 5 o'clock, like I'm going from room to room and I'm realizing that these patients are not difficult at all. Yes, I don't know the patients, but these patients were not difficult at all. Like when I say are not difficult at all, they are not difficult at all. So regardless of how used to my other patients, right, I'm very, very used to those patients. However, those patients are difficult. I'm not going to lie. But these patients that I was with last night stroke this morning were very, very easy. And in my mind, I just said, wow, all things really do work together for good. All things work together for good, because I had a peaceful night. Okay, so those who work in a nursing home, those who work at a hospital, we always say, have a peaceful night, have a smooth night, have a smooth shift. It was a smooth shift. It was a smooth night. And so God knows what he's doing. So here you are, used to that thing, used to that person, used to that arena, used to that job, used to that situation. You don't even realize that situation is hard. But now it seems easy because you're used to it. It's called cognitive dissonance. Okay? When you start getting used to things that are hard, when hard things become easy, especially in abusive situations and very hard situations, sometimes that's not a good thing. And you know, so sometimes like God will give you a break and be like, hey, come here. But you're like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to stay here where they beat me up, where they scratch me, where they cuss me out. Yes, because I'm used to it. I can't be with people who say they love me and people who actually care about me, people who actually want to give me something without wanting anything in return. No, no, Lord. I'll just go ahead and stay here. And then you argue and argue and argue. And then God has to remind you, look, I am the boss here. Go downstairs or go upstairs or get off the scene or get out of here. And then you think that God doesn't love you and he doesn't care, but he's actually trying to make your life better. Now, of course, like my supervisor was just trying to make her life better and make everybody have a smoother shift with more staff on the short side. But it worked together for my good. That's the point here. All things work together for good. So don't argue with the changes. Don't argue with the wind. Don't argue with the storm. Go through it. Yep. Go through it. God bless you. Make sure you listen to the other podcasts that I have posted.